dear friend. We are in our pillar number 5, New Geopolitics and Solidarity by 13 Pillar Society.
How are you doing? Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, dear Kausar.
Hi.
Can you
Hey,
hear
Hi.
us?
How are
Kausar.
you?
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everybody?
Yes, everybody
Very good.
fine. Yes, we're going to enjoy today new geopolitics and solidarity.
Yes, yes. Looking
And
forward
it's
for
a
that.
beautiful subject, a beautiful topic, because with that, it's not about analyzing and being inside because of the old society. It's about to project and be excited and be joyful of co-creating the new society. Geopolitics is very interesting, as a matter of fact, and I'm so excited we are the three of us. So, Kausa, we have PowerPoint, we have videos, we have some tips and homework for people. What do you want to do first?
If you want to show some videos or you want me to start so we can break the rules today, just go with the videos first. Or you want to say something?
Okay, so the video goes with the PowerPoint. So we do the two, and then we wait
Okay.
for your presentation. Do you
Okay.
like it?
Sure. Yes. Wonderful.
So I will go with, actually, that's a very nice investigation, a research that Giovanna did yesterday about new geopolitics and solidarity. And this is going to be what we want to do. It's the alternative to the famous globalization and all that. We have so
Mhm.
many alternatives, we have so many solutions. So keep in touch with us. And let's start with Dr. Klaus Dodds. Do you want to present this one, Giovanna?
Yeah, sure.
It's very interesting, this book. Actually, you
Yes,
found it.
yes. And
The book is called Short Introduction to Geopolitics.
yes, and close dots. Actually, he is a professor of geopolitics and director on the politics environment research of the Royal Holloway University in England. So, and I'm going to read this. And this book gives us an overview of the field of geopolitics through 10 images and a case study on the Arctic to illustrate points. From historical maps to the rhetoric of political leaders, he considers that for a full understanding of contemporary global politics, it's essential to be geopolitical. And I loved his short introduction because he, in a very short time, he gives us an idea of what happened in this field of geopolitics up to now. And with 10 images, as it's mentioned in here, he actually tells us the story of geopolitics and how and the way that it was shaped up to now. And I'm thinking that he's going to produce a second part of this book, which is going to tell us a little bit more about the last changes in geopolitics. But what I the best thing that I got from this book is that he, besides being geopolitic and like telling the history of geopolitics, he is an ecological researcher. So, and that gives him a different perspective of how the importance of ecology in geopolitics. And in this part, these two things is what he says. He says, imagine the world in a very particular way and think how is the best way to manage it. That's
Mm.
what it means to be geopolitical for him. And also, I'm thinking that that is actually what it means to be geopolitical. Imagine the world in a certain way, and imagine ways to manage it. And he, as I mentioned, he's an ecology researcher as well. So he says that ecology is inviting us to act. So is the key for geopolitics. And when I talk about ecology, and when he talks about ecology in this part of his talk, he reminds us, or at least he reminds me, and I'm thinking that most of us, that we have a very deep relationship with nature, and also that we are part of this nature. So this for sure is a key for geopolitics and for imagining a different kind of world, a planet. So that's what he gave he gave me.
This is
Yes,
what I really liked about geopolitical.
yes,
Imagine an ecology that's I don't mean easy, but I mean it's something you can do actually.
yes. It's something
So
you
when you
can
said
do.
imagine the best way, for us it's exactly the 13 pillar society.
Yes.
Imagine the world in a very particular ways and think how the best way to
Yes,
manage it. So this is exactly this program. So I was so happy because I was thinking geopolitics is something very hard and you have to be at least have a PhD and all that. No, no, no. It's something you could create, and you, everybody, you who are watching us now, or we can see us after on YouTube. Put your comments and imagine with us, and not imagine only. Then we
yes,
co-create. So at the end of the program, we will give you two tools about quantum thought, so you can have all the tools to imagine the best way.
Mm.
And the 30 pillar society, we remind you right now we have pillar number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will go on every week to show all the pillars. This is exactly what's going on right now. So I was very, very happy. Just to remind you, the 13 pillar: creative sport, preventive health, high tech, low tech, all the techs, medium tech, quantum tech, traditional techs, ancient techs, quantum reconnecting education, which was last week. I really recommend you to watch this program as well. Now
yes.
we enter a new geopolitics and societies. That's today. Next week we will do peace culture and multiculturalism. We will do social multi-education. Then we will do art and quantum geometry or sacred geometry. We will do bioarchitecture, ecology, decontamination, bioagriculture, alternative energy and clean means of transportation, conscious
Wow.
economy, which is huge, this sector, pillar number 12, and, but not least, personal development and
Wow.
collective consciousness. So this is
Yeah,
what we have to co-create. This is what we have to imagine, as Dr. Dodge said. So this is a all plan. And
yes.
concretely, now there is a trend, but I think it's good to do some mini societies for peace. That an idea of my friend from Belgium, actually, Bryony, and we'll give you the link as well. We can start the mini societies, and we can start as a reference, as a somebody has to start. You see, and
Yes,
this is a very good idea, but it will require solidarity and a lot of responsibility. This is a famous ecology you said. So you like that, Giovanna?
yes. I love that.
And then it didn't occur to me that geopolitics were linked to ecology, but of course,
Uh-huh.
Mother Earth is geopolitics. I mean, she's a master here.
And
Yes,
sustainability. We talked about sustainability before too.
yes. I
And
know.
sustainability.
And the main thing is like, it takes me to think, like, and remember that actually we are nature. I mean, we are, because our bodies have the composition of earth. So we are earth too. And
Yes.
in that perspective, thinking that we are one, we are unified with the planet, we are, so we have to be very conscious when we think about geopolitics. So I it definitely brought the geopolitics, as Noemi said, to the daily life. Not just a word that it's like kind of far from you, but it brought me to my daily life, to my life.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's another view of politician as well. This is going to change and quite fast. This like geopolitics was the old politics, but taken to a higher level of consciousness. When the politician, that's why it's geo as well, because it's consciousness, wisdom, and geo, the earth
Exactly.
politics. Meaning, and the way it was in the ancient Greece, by the way, the more person, not only intelligent, but the wiser, the person would have a wide view of the world, how it works, and of the society, and of psychology, were the politician, let's say in ancient Egypt. And that's the wise way to focus now, geopolitics. So it's a huge shift. Each time you have a program, we can see it's a shift. It's a 180 degrees shift of paradigms to a higher level of consciousness, to peace culture, and to inner peace as well. So it's an old program, and it will work, and it works only because you throw consciousness into it, and then everything will unfold correctly. You see what I mean? This is beautiful.
Yes.
And of course, it will involve education. If you start with very young kid, I'm talking about kinder, pre-kinder. Wow, they will have these paradigms. They will have the habit. They will have the consciousness right away, right away. So really, if you want to do something for the future, invest in education, the good education, the education of the soul, of the wise person, of the inner person. I will say holistic education, if you want, or quantum education, if you want to say so. The other one is solidarity. You can watch the video after that. It's a video about solidarity in a broader way as well. It means a lot of things, and it's involved in the co-creation of the new society and the new geopolitics. And do you want to read that? That actually you wrote that, Giovanna. I loved it, so that's why I put it in the PowerPoint.
Yes, it says this message. We're talking about the message from the beginning. This message opens us to imagine a world with infinite possibilities of transformation and change into a greater reality of peace and consciousness. And that's what we're looking for, you know, it's like getting that reality where all of us, we are one, and we are one with this planet, and we're actually being conscious in doing something regarding this planet. For me, this program, 13 Pillar Society for Peace, this is a very big, you know, support and also step in order to get this new geopolitics. Because this is the beginning. We're giving the ideas to get a world, the world that we're looking for, with peace and consciousness. So I'm so happy of being part of this program too.
Me too. And you said the key word is the word we really want. So that's so exciting. And if you don't want to start a mini society or you think this is impossible, we can always, always, always start with ourselves. Inner peace and transform my own life. That's a good tip. It's a fractal, meaning if us as a fractal, we start the changes, we start with ourselves, with our own heart and
Yeah.
knowledge and wisdom and the opening up. Wow, ding 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 ding. See, it will start up a whole chain.
And we were talking, Noemi, do you remember last week we were talking about this exactly when we begin thinking of a new society, something new for us. We begin as an individual, okay, and we start this quantum dreaming that we talked with Bryony like last week. Bryony is she's a quantum thinking researcher too, from Heart Brain Academy, and she actually teaches us how to quantum dream these. And we have this couple of programs in the multi university. Maybe you would like to share that with us,
So
Noemi.
yes, I think it's a good time to say that when we talk about imagine the new world, there is a very nice technique. So we recommend this video. In English, it will be quantum thought or quantum imagination. So you start by put the new society and what you want in the quantum field, and then little by little, or all of a sudden, tink, it will go more physical. So this is in Spanish, but the video is both in English and in Spanish because Brian speaks in Spanish. So you can skip the Spanish part and go to the English part. And it's Quantum Thought, number 2, Live with Brian Van den Bush. And it's where in the YouTube channel called E Multi University. U 3000, 4000, 5000. And the other one in number 2, Quantum Thought Live with Brian Van den Buscher, E Multi U 3000, 4000, 5000. So you have almost 2 hours of how to do our quantum thinking or quantum thought or quantum dreaming. And this is a very good tool
Yes.
because we don't want this program to be theoretical. We want this to be really practical.
Yes, and also you have in the comments, you have the links to these programs. If you would like to just click it, and then you go to these beautiful programs, as well as so many programs that we have, and so many tools that we're gonna be giving until later on in all the programs.
Of course, don't click on the screen, click on the comments below.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the two, this one and this one. Okay. Do you have some comments on the quantum thought, dear Kausar, or shall we go to the video? The
Yeah.
video is on solidarity.
Okay, actually, from my experience on geopolitics, and especially that we got to travel so much and enjoy the nature, I've been in so many different group of hiking that I love to hike and enjoy nature, and we know how much attached to nature, all of us, especially our groups. We realize that geopolitics for us and as a dreamer, it's different than the politicians and the and the market and the government. But for somehow, there is study for that. I mean, there is some people in the government who study geopolitics, and they set borders everywhere you go. You see borders, and you get to cross over the borders, and you see the word, and it's divided. Between here and there, and we hear a lot about World War III, and we don't even wanted to go there. We see what's going on in the economic crashes and all what's going on all over the world. We realize that geopolitics is very important for the peace culture and what we talked about, because we can really change this kind of vision of aggressiveness and the misidentity for humanity, because we really lost our identity when they divide us like that, and when we realize that we're not different from each other, we're all the same. We're different with the I mean with the thing that we bring to the table, different culture, beautiful culture from each other. I mean, we're so proud of each one of them. Sorry. So we should be proud of our culture. We should be proud of our background. We should be proud of the food that we put on the table, from different place on the world. I remember my son, when we visited the States, we used to have pita bread, and when we lived there, he used to take the sandwiches with him with pita bread to school, and he come back, he didn't eat the food. I was like, why you're not eating your sandwich? He said, oh, I need the square bread, I don't need the roll bread. Because all the kids eat the roll bread. I was like, why is that? He said, well, I need to feel the same with others. Now this new kids, new generation, they don't fear that. They don't feel like they're different. They feel unique, and they wanted to work on their uniqueness. So we do feel like the attachment again with our soul, with our culture, with the food that we created, and it for our family, a little bit difference here and there. And then I remember too that I have a neighbor. We used to fight the baklava is from Greece or from Lebanon. So because the sweet dessert is created, so on the table. But I can tell you more about this subject based on my experience on the Green Party. Green Party in the state, it's international party, and they do create it just based on geopolitics. It's first of all, what's make me talk about this? It's non-violent. First of all, they do work on peace culture as well, and they have a social justice as well, grassroots democracy, and they do work in ecological sustainability. So this main thing what makes the Green Party different than any other party, and they're trying to make it really as broad as possible and all over the places, trying to connect the dot and see how we can see the word as home. It's not like dividing us in borders. And I do have picture for that actually. I don't know. I maybe I didn't send it to you. The we put borders in every single state and countries, but really if you look at the earth you just see blue planet. Doesn't have a borders. This is what we're trying to imagine there. And we know for sure, as a human and a humanity, and especially when we're going to talk next week about the peace culture, nothing can divide us. We're all the same, especially when I get to talk on these programs and I realize where we do work together from more than 15 different countries with Naomi, especially on this program. And it's so beautiful that we are all from different places, and we do share all the love for each other, and all the respect for the great work that we do for humanity. So there's no difference really except what we read in the books and what trying to promote. I did mention something to Naomi about the Thrive movement movie. Actually, I really want you to watch over that because it's too long as well too, and it talks at the end about the solution and how really we can make the geopolitic at the end a solution for us as a humanitarian. They do talk about the solution in this movie. I really want you to watch it though. I don't want to tell you all the details, but I can tell you they promote holistic um, approach on this kind of subject from in a small local community, like what she was saying earlier, small group. And this comes to my mind where we can really do it together, Naomi. I think we can work on that. We used to have a book club in the state with Edgar Casey's organization. And this book club was in every single state and very small community. Like we were 10, 15 members in each, small area where we can just read a book every week together. Or when we get busy, we just try to meet twice a week, every other Tuesday. So just meet, meditate, and just read a book together and discuss it over the week, sometimes over a group chat or something, and get the benefits out of it. We can really do that, and in a very small country, small groups, and promote peace culture, promote geopolitics, and see from different perspective in small community what we can promote for our municipalities, for the NGOs in the area, what kind of programs I can help with. So I know when we really learn more about a certain policy in the government and how we can work it out, we can really create a new movement. There's and when we talk about solidarity later on, we realize the solidarity is certain movement where we see nothing happening anymore in certain subject, and I need to create certain movement, and we create solidarity with it as well too. But to get back to that, I mean, a small group of people in a small community can do a lot. From like let's say from a small community, I can create a local health center where people can promote prevention as a holistic medicine. We can create a small bank where the bank just can be just from the local people, using their source to promote more like treasure issues. The old days they used to do trading. They trade a certain product with others before they use money. Now we use the credit cards. We don't use money anymore. With after the economic crash, now we're going to they're trying to create the Bitcoin, which is another way of trading. So in the movie Thrive Movement, they do talk about trading in a small local bank in the area. They do work on the very small, sharing businesses as well too. So to create this kind of environment where we can create more facilitators in the area and know exactly what our needs are, so we can promote things from there. So even in a small village where they cannot even know how to work it out, through municipalities and through NGOs, we can create more um, sustainable project for the community. We can get them to grow their own product, package the product. We can try to work with different organizations, try to ship it for them, get them paid for it. I mean, this kind of thing is really small compared what we can talk about geopolitics, the big picture. But when we start from our small village, when you were talking about the small people, and then get into the municipality, and the municipality, when she see the project is growing and the sustainability is moving over more places, the government's gonna create something bigger, and then when the government create that big thing as well too, what they're gonna do? They're gonna try to create it with another government from different countries. So when the most the places here in Lebanon, I go see signs municipality of certain place in Europe affiliate with another municipality here in Lebanon to teach them how to promote certain things. So this kind of affiliation with from different country, especially from the country who already have done such a thing, and they're trying to help another third world country where they don't know how to promote that. So the really the affiliation and the working process with the government, from government to government, and all the NGOs who work in globally for this. Now I see a lot of them all over in different countries, especially the third world country, as I mentioned that. I can tell you a lot more about this, especially after what happened in here in Lebanon. It's almost 2 years now. I was actually there yesterday. I saw most of the people, the parents of the children, and the people who died in the explosion of Beirut port that happened 2 years ago. Our whole city, uh, I mean, blast. It was the biggest blast in the all over the city, and the radius was really really huge, and it wasn't anything that we have ever imagined. It took all the walls out, and we just had the solidarity for this kind of you wouldn't imagine, from Europe, from the state, from all over the country, where there were any Lebanese society, even as small as it is. They did so much for Lebanon. They did so much. They did help a lot I mean, they did send money, they send food, they send even so many containers to rebuild Beirut. They try to rebuild the people's house where they were. They were like they we moved them to a different places as well too. We pay for their rent. We did so much for them through the time after the explosion. We had clean with them. We took them. I mean, we even bring what you call a hospital from different countries to here to help out. So there were so many different approach from different organization as an international organization or a governmental organization. Even the countries itself send chip stuff to remain, to help out with the solidarity. So when there's something going on, we realize solidarity comes up because we are so much thinking about. Now we realize that solidarity, when it comes to our programs or holistic approach, we realize all this new generation talk about sustainability and recycling and saving earth and the eco movement and all this. So this part of it as well too, and it's a huge. I mean, compared to what we used to see in old age. I mean, old days. Now we realize this new generation talk all the time about they don't want to stick to what my mom and dad teach me. They do. They're starting their own movement, and they need the old generation to follow them. I do see a lot of encouragement, a lot of kindness, a lot of respect to nature. I see this new generation is way better than the old one, to tell you the truth. Especially when I got back here to Lebanon, it was so exactly littering was bothers me so much. When I see people taking something out of the window, the car windows, and threw it in the middle of the street, I start honking for them, and I was like, no, please don't do that. So now I realize this new generation, they really hate to do that. They're always talking about it on their, and they do start small movement, no littering. The government cannot enforce it much. And you wouldn't imagine every time, and over the summer here in Lebanon, it doesn't rain. So it rains always in October, the first time of when the winter starts. So it rains in October, and all the street flooded because all the trash stuck in the gutter, and the water can't run anymore. So all the street are full of water. So the car is like swimming in the water, and this happen every year. I post a lot of things. We start our own movement as well too here, as a solidarity for our neighbors. Please don't do that. And we stop a couple of times in the middle of the street. We give them small bags. Please put it in the car. Put your trash in the car, and whenever you get in home, just take it with you. I mean, certain things is very simple, but when it comes to the government, we need to talk politics. And to tell you the truth, I don't like politics. So when it comes to this subject, I got stuck because I feel, there is so many issues in our with our politicians, and especially if you need to be a politician, you need to know how to lie, how to do things here and there. So it's not my favorite subject in this matter, but when we talk about geopolitics, we do feel like there is no border, and we really need to study the places more and see what their needs, and try to really implement it and with a more sustainable project, and see what the people needs and work over it. We really work in education last week and the week before in low tech, high tech. Realized like how good our generation is creating all that from nothing. Like we know Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it's a desert. There's nothing there. I mean, nothing can grow there. They don't even have water, compared to any other countries as well too. They make it heaven, just like heaven. If you go visit it there now, they did build a sustainable society where everything that you need is all beautiful. I mean, from the smallest thing that you can need, that you can use in your life, into whatever. And the government really, all e-government, and they do respect all the human issues, and they work in solidarity. And the funniest part, I don't know if I told you that before, they created a government and they call it happy government for the happiest people. So they do have this kind of consciousness, and this is what really we're trying to make by talking about geopolitics. We need people to think more about peace culture, which is we're gonna talk about it next week in our another pillar that we're gonna talk about next week. But from my point of view, talking about geopolitics is a big, big, big politic issues that we have. And from here on, special on this channel, we don't want to bring anything negative to our channel. So we don't talk politics. We just need to emphasize what we really our dream is. Our dream is to see the community and the society growing in a healthy environment where all of us respecting each other, no matter what's our differences, just respecting each other and growing really in a healthy environment. And this is what I really think geopolitics can be.
Yes. And remember, this program is not about talking, it's about to co create and do it together,
Yes.
and to be
Yes.
strong, be united, and to realize we are many with this kind of vision, consciousness,
Well,
action, and
social
solidarity.
And
solidarity, social justice. When we talk about social justice, it's part of the geopolitics. Social justice is when we see humanity treated the same everywhere in the world. I mean, when we see the woman respected all over the places, the children, and the abuse of so many different kind of ethnicity, So we realize that geopolitics is all setting rules for all that, all over the global, and especially like United Nations work a lot on that. The Green Party, as I mentioned before, there is so many different movement. I believe as well, and most of the people who work in the environmental, like in Europe this year, they were in the expo, the global green global, the for the what you call it, the uh, for the sustainability, for the environmental project. No, I will remember the name. I'll tell you.
I don't remember.
But it was something big. All the environmental organization, and globally they meet there more every maybe 3 years, and then they come up with the global warming um, uh, fair, expo. So you find all the different sustainable project. They come up with the different solution, and they try to emphasize it for the earth. And with the global warming this year, it's they're talking the effect of global warming in different countries and different places, and the ozone layers and all this kind of thing. So they try to create platform for all the countries together to care about Earth and all the issue on Earth, and this is where geopolitics started. But really, if we really see what they do and how they act about it, they always meet, but they don't act. So they don't do nothing. They just talk. And for 2050, maybe, I don't know, they were saying the global warming is going to increase. I don't know how much, and this and that. So we really need to start working in small group, as you were talking about that. And then from there, we're going to realize that this is how it's going to start. Like, when we start meditating, realize it's all in us, not in the people around us. And then we realize we realize that every single emotional feeling in us can affect our, action. So it's very much what I'm talking here. Geopolitics, it's really from the government, but it has to start in certain movement where the government has to understand our needs. If the government doesn't know our needs, they're gonna create something based on their critique for certain researcher maybe, or certain environmental strategy, and then most of the time it doesn't fit your need, and what you need in the state, let's say, or in different country, it doesn't fit my need here, let's say in Lebanon. So we're our government is corrupted to the maximum now, where I talk to you so many times that I don't have an internet or I don't have electricity. So we have to run solar panels now in order for us to have electricity, and everybody's working on that. So this is kind of geopolitics and solidarity. It really combined together, and the movement for from the solidarity approach can create a new geopolitic for sure. This is what we really need to work on.
Wow. And you said geopolitics and solidarity. You remember we said we have a video, and if you type what is
Yeah.
solidarity, you can find it. And actually, this video, Giovanna
Okay.
chose it. Why did you
Yeah.
like the video, Giovanna?
No, well, I when you talk about solidarity, it's we've heard so much about solidarity, but actually, what is solidarity? In this video, it's like it's like a dictionary, but it's an audio. It's an audio, and so I enjoy the way that they explain what is solidarity, like the term, and also that is that force that is binding us, and it explains us. It explains the different ways of solidarity. Okay, I didn't get to know all the word and the meaning at the same time in a very
Okay.
deep way. So you're gonna enjoy it later on. It's just a talk about solidarity, but it tells us the ways in how we can be like that to each other, isn't it? And actually, solidarity is what binds us. Solidarity is it's in everything. I'm thinking that it's one step to love, as talking about binding us. So when talking about communities as well. So and I hope you enjoy this small video later on.
All right, so let's watch at least the beginning and take notes. It's very interesting, actually.
Yes.
Solidarity is unity as of a
Okay.
group or class which produces or is based on unities of interests, objectives, standards, and sympathies. It refers to the ties in a society that bind people together as one. The term is generally employed in sociology and the other social sciences, as well as in philosophy or in Catholic social teaching. In addition, solidarity is a core concept in Christian democracy political ideology. What forms the basis of solidarity varies between societies. In simple societies, it may be mainly based on kinship and shared values. In more complex societies, there are various theories as to what contributes to a sense of social solidarity. Solidarity is also one of 6 principles of the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the European Union, and December 20th of each year is International Human Solidarity Day, recognized as an international observance. According to Emil Durkheim, the types of social solidarity correlate with types of society. Durkheim introduced the terms mechanical and organic solidarity as part of his theory of the development of societies and the division of labor in society, 1893. In a society exhibiting mechanical solidarity, its cohesion and integration comes from the homogeneity of individuals. People feel connected through similar work, educational and religious training, and lifestyle. Mechanical solidarity normally operates in traditional and small-scale societies. In simpler societies, for example, tribal, solidarity is usually based on kinship ties of familial networks. Organic solidarity comes from the interdependence that arises from specialization of work and the complementarities between people, a development which occurs in modern and industrial societies. Definition: it is social cohesion based upon the dependence individuals have on each other in more advanced societies. Although individuals perform different tasks and often have different values and interests, the order and very solidarity of society depends on their reliance on each other to perform their specified tasks. Organic here is referring to the interdependence of the component parts. Thus social solidarity is maintained in more complex societies through the interdependence of its component parts, for example the earliest clan period of mankind, and still more during the next village community period, and the immense influence which these early institutions have exercised upon the subsequent development of mankind, down to the present times, induced me to extend my researches to the later, historical periods as well, especially to study that most interesting period, the pre-medieval city republics, whose universality and influence upon our modern civilization have not yet been duly appreciated. And finally, I have tried to indicate in brief the immense importance which the mutual support instincts, inherited by mankind from its extremely long evolution, play even now in our modern society, which is supposed to rest upon the principle everyone for himself, and the state for all, but which it never has succeeded, nor will succeed in realizing.
We can put the microphone on. There is something
I was
interesting
looking for
about
the picture.
indigenous
Uh,
people societies. They were extremely, and they are still are extremely based on solidarity. That's something we can remember as well. And yes, Kausa, you were about to say something.
Actually, I was looking for the picture for you, but I didn't find it. I will send it for them later. But when we talk again about solidarity, it's all about the movement that we can create for certain thing that we really need to enforce. And if it's not from the government, it's and the people themselves. So I see a lot of this again that what happened. Over the explosion, what happened, most the NGOs who were outside Lebanon, we never ever heard about them. They were calling the TV show. They were setting pages. They create funds. They send us so many things, and we create solidarity under the movement for helping each other after the explosion. Over 7,000 people they lost their houses, and we had 150 people already lost their life. So during that time, we were just trying to see how we can get these people to stay in certain places until we get them back to their house, and how we can fix their home. It took us 2 years to do that, and but still until now, some people didn't even get back home. So to start certain movement and to create solidarity for certain action, it really it create. I mean, it needs a lot of effort from the society itself. Sometimes the government doesn't care about that. So and even if the government care about it, maybe they don't have the effort to do it, or they don't want to participate on it. So basically, what solidarity can do for geopolitics, it can enforce it. So if I realize that, let's say here as well in Lebanon, what happened, they tried to start working in a beautiful land. It has like over 10,000 trees, and to make a dam, to save water for the neighbors to drink over the summer, because it doesn't rain here in summer. So when we went as small community, we went there and we realized that the land and the earth itself, the ground doesn't hold water because it has so many sinking holes, you know. So we cannot really do that there. So we went to the government and we told them this is our studies and you cannot do this there. They were like, Okay, and then we realized, and like after a couple of days, they just bring their trucks, and then they were chopping the trees. So we started the solidarity. We started the movement there at the spa. You wouldn't imagine there were like over 10,000 people just by calling each other, setting a post over the Facebook. We're holding, uh, signs and all that. We start protesting, and then we had to stop that from happening. We saved 10,000 trees, basically. So
Wow,
doing these things, yes, doing
that's
these things
amazing.
in the ground made the government stop that project because we realized this is not good for our community. So this is how solidarity work, and this is how geopolitics can be combined to each other to create what's the best for the community, not what's the best for the politicians and what's the best for them to make money from the certain things,
Yeah,
especially
the
when it
best for
comes to the
communities
to
and
these.
for Earth, because in that case, you are defending Earth and
Yes,
trees
yes,
as well. I mean,
absolutely.
it's the
Yes,
whole
no,
thing. It's
it's
a
working.
triangle: Us, nature, communities,
Absolutely.
and
Yes,
we can
yes. And
definitely work on that.
we were talking about the we are Earth and we are one. I wrote it down actually. I wanted to talk about that. From Earth, when we study the table of elements, we know there is 99 elements in the table, and they're all coming from Earth, from the uh, ground. And then we realized that the human being, and we talked about this before, but I don't know, nobody answered us yet. We talk about this in the human body. There's 27 from the 99, 27 element. So the 27 element, that we can get them from the food, right? We eat. So if we don't eat healthy food, and we don't have these kind of good elements in our body, we can create a lot of problems in our health. So and very much the same. I mean, for our nature. So if really not taking care of our trees and nature and all that, how are we gonna survive around it? And with the concrete walls. So we're trying to create more green and trying to save the environment, and see how we can work it around the global warming part. See if we really can save some water, save some electricity. We talked about this. This is all geopolitics, but from their point of view, they don't want us to think about it this way. They wanted to do it their own way. When I say they, it's the government. They wanted to do it their own way, and they wanted to enforce it on us. And now this new generation, they don't take it. They do. I do believe the internet, and different part of the world where they really work on that properly, with all the respect to humanity. So we're learning a lot from each other, and this is what we're really trying to enforce here by talking, and about the global as a global, geopolitic. So if we really study the continent and we study different geographic area, and realize what's really the main issues in each area, and we try to work it from the small group, and there we can solve a lot of problems. But you cannot, let's say, very much like the, I don't want to say it. Do I say it? Yes, like the vaccine. I'm against vaccine, but some people don't want me to talk about the subject. But the flu vaccine, they do study the virus in the air, right? Because it starts the flu. So they study the air and the state, let's say, and they create the vaccine. So when they ship the vaccine to give it to me in different countries, the air on this country is not the same, and the virus in this country is not the same. So I take the vaccine, and there's no effect for me. But the people who have done the vaccine in certain place where it has started, they might even have small benefits out of it. But really, basically, if we don't really studied biochemistry, physics, and really know if the effect on it, we're not going to be able to solve any issues that we have. And the other thing that I do believe that we really need to mention here is most of the researcher is belong to organization that or business company, um, like the pharmaceuticals. Most the research that we see on the medical field based on the pharmaceutical company. So, would you imagine the pharmaceutical company wanted to talk something bad about their product if they wanted to sell it to us? They're not gonna say something bad about it, right? Even the side effect, even if the FDA doesn't prove that, they wouldn't even mention it. So we do realize that we really have to start working in a more researcher like the group that we have. The research doesn't have any relation with any political parties or any organization or any funded from these kind of uh, people that we're talking about. So it will be really fair to us to take certain research and rely on it without being, biased to anything. So these kind of things that we're looking for now, and I do believe that this kind of issue that we have already all over the globe, because most of the problems we have is from the researcher that it's belong to certain people that belong to certain organization. They fund them. They did bring the fund for certain result as well. So this is part of the corruptions that we have. And so geopolitics need to be more freely from a people like us who really wanted to bring the best out of it to the humanity and to the whole global uh, with no borders.
Hmm. Kausa, we have one more point, very, very quick, and then we will close this. It's called exopolitics. So some people ask, what do we mean by that? So we will invite you to two researchers. One is Michael
Okay.
Sala. Michael Sala has an institute in Hawaii. And actually, this word exopolitics, which means politics beyond planet Earth,
Okay.
was found. Exopolitics was found by Michael Sala, a graduate in politician science from the University of Queensland, Australia, and a professor at American University. So it has many books and conference, so you can check it out. And the other one you can check is Laura Eisenhower. And as well, she has a lot of information in her Facebook and on YouTube. So you can know
Okay.
about extraterrestrial life. And that's kind of interesting.
Oh, global
So,
alchemist. Okay. Wow.
yeah, yeah. Do you want to read what she is, Laura?
Laura, as a researcher and expo politician, astrologer, and a global alchemist, she is sharing a lot of information on extraterrestrial life. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she is a
That's
granddaughter
great.
of the president, Eisenhower. Dewey.
Oh, really?
So she
Oh,
has a
she
lot
could.
of information from that time. And there is a lot of information that was not exposed to us. I mean, it was not disclosed. So now she's sharing that, and then it's very interesting because she will link this to the next jump or leap of consciousness that we have for the humanity right now, which is kind of
Mm,
historical. And she will link all the information she had from the grandfather, no, grand grandfather, I think, and that's pretty interesting. And she will link with love and consciousness. So that's not something that's because extraterrestrial life is not something to be afraid of. This is something we are going to explore, and a lot of information is going to be released to humanity. So under geopolitics, now we have exopolitics as well. That's kind of interesting and very exciting. So that's a long program, but it means so much for
yeah.
us because that's our life. And the most important, we are part of it. Geopolitics is not that huge. It will start with us. And small actions
You know,
gonna be big.
I remember I remember Deepak Chopra. One time we met him over the one of the book signing for him. He said, "You know, we're here now, gathering for this book signing, talking about peace and talking about emotional intelligence and all this thing that he always talk about." And then he said something that in different room somewhere else in the same street, maybe some people doing something else. It doesn't have anything to do with what we do here. So it's always going to be the case, but from solidarity and expo and all this, there is always certain movements going to catch up these people attention, and it's going to bring them to us. What I see from this project, especially 13 Pillar Society of Peace, I do see expo there, because we can really represent the beautiful picture we need to see on earth. And as a human being, respecting each other and looking up for each other and helping each other, and to create a beautiful environment for our kids and for our citizens as well too, and be more open to each other, not to have certain fears, because most of the places they do think about others in certain ways, especially when it comes to politics, um, and especially to war and all this kind of fear. So economy and especially certain government, they create this fear in people so they can control them, and we talked about that before. This is part of the politicians' way of dealing with, and this is why I told you I don't want to be with politicians. When they talk about fear to people, they talk about certain things, and when it comes to this pillar, we realize it's been used really badly, and we have so much work to do on that one, to bring it back to the way it need to be working with. So we have a lot of work to be done for this pillar, especially. Um, and this pillar, I mean, if we cannot control the government, we cannot control the borders, we cannot control the project that I mean, done from the government as well. We really need to start working in a small society and get them to do small things here and there, and from that we can start bigger movement, bigger solidarity approach to the government, and where we can really enforce law, that we can create peace on earth with the more delegate for that, who can promote this kind of facility with the facilitator, where they can promote peace the way that we really wanted to look and dream about earth.
And that's our next program. Next week we go to
This
multiculturalism
is for the next
and
week,
peace
yes.
culture. And it's 3 o'clock UK time. You can check the time in your own country. And we will be on Facebook and YouTube. Education, 3 O's, punto info, dot info. Punto is Spanish. And here's a website. So see you soon. Thank you, Giovanna, for all the work and to help with StreamYard and with the presentation. And see you next week. And all the best in Lebanon too.
All right.
And I really wish the 13 Pillar Society will be the 13 new ministry of Lebanon, and is going to be a country that will show us it's possible. So see you,
Raise,
and
raising up. We're
and have a
rising
good
up
week.
again.
Thank you, Kausa. Thank you, Giovanna, and thank you all the team. Thank you,
Thank you.
you
Thank you so
who
much.
is watching on the other
All
side
right.
of the screen. Bye
Okay. You take
bye.
care. Bye bye.
Take care.